Good evening, good morning. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our show today, our second show on the Olympics. Today, I will be your host. Usually, I'm behind the scenes, but at the last minute, uh, I have been made the host. So, today, I have four wonderful guests, and I will start introducing. Our first guest is our competition manager, who would probably be the best person to talk about competitions, Mr. Gate Jalajil, all the way from Jordan. Hi, Gate. How are you? Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Khurram. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Good to be here, Khurram. Thank you for having me.
And then, as always, we need our boss to show up, me and Gate. So we've asked our very capable CEO, Mr. Benjamin Manroyan, to join us all the way from Dubai, UAE. Hi,
Thank you,
Ben.
Guru. Hello, Kuram. Yes, okay. So nobody's the boss. I think at the moment, rugby sevens is the boss. It's a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Kuram, for organizing this.
So, as always, we need gender equity, and I could not find two more capable guests to join us. Our next guest is the former captain of Kazakhstan and a very important member of our athletes committee, Miss Karina. How are you?
Hi everyone. I'm good. Thanks for
Hello,
hosting.
Karina.
All the way from Almaty, Kazakhstan. We've got all regions covered. So, again, talking about captains, a very big leader in and doing a lot of things on and off the field in promoting rugby in India, and we have the very dynamic Wabiz from Rugby India. Hi,
Hi
Wabiz.
everyone.
Hello,
Hi,
Babish.
Bobby.
Hi
Hello.
guys.
Well, it's great to see you all. I would, wish me best of luck because I'm multitasking today, trying to put the show on. The show must go on, as they always say. So
Yeah.
first thing we talking about the show. What a show the Olympics has been. Opening ceremony and the men's tournament. Uh, guys, can you share about the tournament? Did you guys see the final? What did you guys think? Gaith, maybe you can start.
Yeah, the final. Before we speak about the final, probably not everyone realized that rugby have actually started before the opening ceremony. But what a final we had yesterday! Everyone probably was supporting Fiji. A lot of people supporting Fiji, and they tipped them as the winners. But man, France second half, what an impact 2 point has had. He keeps delivering that boy. So congratulations, France. Actually, it was a brilliant final.
Ben.
Yes, Kuram, I think for the people in Paris and the rest of France, you could not have scripted it better.
Absolutely.
70,000. I think to some extent, the Fiji would go back with a silver medal and say, we tried our best, but the best team on the day or the best team in those 14, 15, 16 minutes won.
True.
So,
True.
yes, Kuram, I think it's very intimidating to play against France now in Stade de France. I don't want to be there, yeah, playing against them.
Wonderful. Karina, did you get? I don't. You didn't watch the final, did you?
What?
Did you watch the final?
Yes, I watched the final with my husband, and we've been cheering for different teams. So now, after the final whistle, we're not talking, and only thing he can do is to send me videos from final games.
So you were supporting France.
I was supporting Fiji.
Wabiz, how about you?
I had all my bets on France. For the way that they were even playing the HSBC sevens, and with the inclusion of Dupont,
Mm.
I had a feeling that with the entire environment and the vibe at France, at Stade de France, with their supporters, they would have just gone a next level. So my friend and I actually placed a 10 rupee bet, and the first bet was that France will win. She said Fiji would win, and then I said France will win by this much margin. I placed 10 rupees on that as well. So when I in the first half it was 7-all, and then in the second half the first kickoff France scores, And I said, hey, 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 guess who's winning? And she said, okay, fine, I'm going towards my wallet. And then they scored the second one. And that's when I said, okay, just keep the 10 rupees ready. So I knew France was going to win with the way that they had just been going with the same momentum through the entire tournament.
That's great, guys. Thank you so
France
much.
actually won the grand final in Madrid. The grand final of the
Yes, well,
HBC Sevens
correct.
in Madrid. They beat Argentina, who came in as the overall series winners. So France, you're absolutely right. They've been the form team coming into the Olympics.
Well, I must say now for me especially, I really am enjoying women's rugby now, and I think it's going to be very exciting. The women's will start today. Gaith, can you tell us a little bit about how Japan women qualified and what was the process?
Yeah, so Japan women last year were actually dominant in Asia, the Asia Rugby 7 series. They won the two legs, which we had both in Korea and Thailand, beating China in the final twice. So they went into Osaka, the Olympic qualifier, and got to the final, of course, as everyone expected. But they actually had to come from behind against China to win the final and qualify as Asia 1 to win that single spot we have as Asia Rugby. So they were dominant and they deserve to be there. Absolutely.
Wonderful. So why don't we just have a quick look at how Japan qualified for the Olympics? A little bit of a highlight show. Enjoy, guys.
Of course, it's China who strikes first. It was Yang Fei who streaked down the sideline in perfect form as she has been all weekend. That was in the 3rd minute. But then just 1 minute later, Otani May setting the example for her teammates. And here we go again. Another one from Otani May. Looks so similar to her first try. And that would take us into halftime. And as we've seen here, just parting the seas, Hirano Yume. And just being a little cheeky right there. You love to see it. And talk about that big hit. Such a big gamble from Tsutsumi Onaka. That pays off. Incredible stuff from Japan. And they are absolutely ecstatic. Congratulations to these players who will be going to the Olympics. Such elation, and China absolutely gutted, but they still have one more shot in the repechage next year.
China's dream. Kais Abdullah Al-Khan, Asia Rugby President, will present Japan with the Champions Cup.
All right, that was a great story.
What a final!
What an upset! And what a great qualifier we had. It was a great with a lot of guests and Japan winning both finals. So as the commentator said, Gaith, China still had a chance. How
Yes.
did they get in? We had two Asian teams.
Of course, so extremely disappointed as you can tell. And the good thing for China is they qualified to the Challenger Series through finishing second in the Asia Rugby 7 series. So they were absolutely dominant, and they ended up qualifying to the HBC 7 series. And they took that form. They used those games really well to go into Monaco and actually beat everyone to qualify as the last women's team to go to Paris to play in the Olympics. So well done, China. They went through the really, really hard way, but they deserve to be there. Absolutely deserve to be there.
That's great. So why don't we just have a little look at how China qualified in Monaco? It's a short video. Brilliant, brilliant,
What a
brilliant
story,
story.
man! Brilliant story.
And we've got lots of hope for these women's to do well. I think China, Ben, I think last time China was seventh in the last Olympics. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, and I think they sort of spoiled the party for Japan. Japan being the hosts, and at that stage having hoped to do better. But we've seen a turnaround
Sure.
from Japan since 2020, the previous Olympics, who was a year late. Yeah. So
Yeah, 21.
both teams had a. I personally believe both teams are on an upward.
Yep.
Guram, just to talk about where I see Japan now. Over the season, of course, being one of the core teams of the HSP Sevens, they had a slow start in the season, and by the time they got to Singapore, they were actually very good. They actually beat the USA. So I'm looking forward to today when they play the USA. I'm not saying okay, USA have traditionally been one of the top four teams. They are beatable, firstly. So, and if I just go back into what Vabi said in terms of momentum, upward trajectory, yeah, let's have a look and see if Japan can do it again today. And also, we saw them in Madrid. They were the better of those 8 teams that fought it out
Absolutely.
for place in next year's sevens. So yeah, and then the other job, and I just wish them good luck, just with the crowd. I mean, they're playing France today, and yes, I mean, welcome to the real life. They're gonna get 70,000 French supporters. So that's Japan for me. But I think China's got the more difficult job today. China really has to play to play against the big girls. They have to play New Zealand, and we know New Zealand has the rivalry between Australia and New Zealand is so strong that they just want to take blast everybody in their way out. They want that gold medal. So China's got a tough job there, and then they're playing the Fijiana. They can capitalize. We've seen China with strong runners through the middle. Just one slip up from Fiji, and we could actually see China with their pace. It's going to be a battle of two totally different playing styles. Fijiana are playing like the Fijian
Like
rugby.
Fiji do.
Yes, like they playing Fijian rugby. But then sometimes if you lose a little bit of structure, I'm sure China's going to bounce on that. So, and again, just talking about momentum, if we saw what China did in Madrid, they meant business. They just wiped everybody the off the table there. So yeah, Kuram, big games coming up, and
Big
I
games
can
coming.
imagine how nervous those players are. But on the other hand, I'm just very happy that we don't have both of our Asian teams in the same pool.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we've
absolutely.
had that bad luck earlier in
Mm.
earlier tournaments.
Yeah.
Well, talking about women's rugby, I think one of the teams that's done really well in both 15s and sevens. Wabiz, please tell us a little bit about the women's program. It'd be good to catch up and let people know, not people that don't know about that.
So here in India, I mean, the scene is absolutely different, right? Because uh, we're such a huge landmass, and to get people from all across the country is always that one challenge where we don't get to practice all year round together. We only have one camp in which we train together. So the program here is pretty much straightforward in terms of there is a sports code set by our government where you play for your club, and then you play for your province, and then you get selected on to the national camp, and then the best 12 are selected to go on to, or the best 12 or the best 25 are selected to go on to playing uh, the 15s or the 7s trophy, and championship division 1. So that's sort of the way that we make it up there. And yeah, I mean, right now women's numbers have increased so much in India in by just seeing the women's team participating and finishing at the podium at the trophy sevens, and also the amount of grassroots development work that is going on through our various programs, which had started with the Get Into Rugby program 5-6 years ago. So yes, where we saw the women's numbers down maybe 3-4 years ago, that has picked up quite a bit, and we're almost at similar numbers. So, to give you perspective, where we have about 29 provinces playing in the men's side, we have about 27 provinces playing on the women's side. So that's almost equal numbers in terms of participation. And yeah, I mean, that's where we are at in India, and huge dreams, right? I mean, Olympics is everyone's mecca, like they say. So whenever people join the sport, it is, yes, we want to play for India, but we want to take India to the Olympics. Is that the next line that follows?
Well, I think a lot of good support from rugby, from the government itself for supports, as I've heard.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
So,
a lot of sorry.
yeah, please go ahead.
No, I mean, a lot of athletes in the entire ecosystem have had to face a lot of teething problems, and not just in rugby, but even through the other sports, and training on their own expenses, etc., etc. I mean, there are a lot of inspirational stories who have made it to the Olympics, and they've sort of carved their way out for a lot of other athletes that are there.
That's wonderful. Guys, just for everybody, feel free to join in to ask questions to each other and add on to what great stories we're hearing from everybody. Thank you, Babiz, for that. Gaith, would you like to? I think it falls into place. We've got seventh season coming up. Can you inform everybody about what's going to happen in the second half of the year?
Yeah, so we're sticking to the same theme of the Olympics. We're playing sevens now. So we've got a bit of an off season now. Everyone is is probably preparing physically for the seventh season coming ahead. We start in Korea with the Korea Sevens, our first leg of the Asia Rugby Seven Series. And then 2 weeks later, that's in September. 2 weeks later, we go to Hangzhou, China Sevens, second round of the Asia Rugby Sevens Series, and this one is particularly exciting because we're going to the same venue as the Asian Games last year, which means we've left a bit of legacy there as rugby, and the government of Hangzhou are hosting us again. That's brilliant news for us. And then we take a short break from the seven series, and there's the trophy, Asia Rugby Sevens Trophy, is played in Nepal on the 4th and 5th of October. After that, we have the under 18 sevens as well, end of September, and then we go back early November. We're back in Bangkok for the final round of the Asia Rugby 7 Series, followed by the under 20s sevens, hopefully in India and end of November as well. So yeah, exciting season ahead of us. A lot of sevens will be played. We're back to 3 rounds of Asia Rugby 7 Series. I'm sure it's going to be extremely competitive. The teams that are playing in the Olympics will bring that back into the region, and I hope the region will just keep that sevens bug on, and we have very competitive season ahead.
Well, thank you, Gaith, for that. Well, the Sevens Trophy coming up in Nepal. I think that's the third one down the line. Wabiz, India came second last year. The runners-up, a great performance. What are we expecting
Actually,
from
2
them?
years in a
And
row, Kuram. Unfortunately
second,
for them, 2 years in a row.
and well,
Yeah, I
we've
hope we
got,
break that charm now.
Jakarta and Doha.
and we were lucky enough to talk to the king of rugby, the legend Sarevi, and he's your new coach. Tell us a little
Yeah,
bit about
yeah, very excited.
what we're
Yeah, I
expecting
mean,
about Sevens Trophy.
with the Sevens Trophy, at least I hope now that it's 3 silvers in a row. I hope we break that charm and get that gold finally now this year. Uh, I mean, it's just I don't know to call it bad luck or to call it performance pressure, but we always get there in the best form, and then that it just there is somewhere where we fall down in the finals. But uh, Serve is here, and we're all very, very excited to see what he brings to the table because, like Gates said, and even Ben's touched upon it, Fiji playing rugby is just Fiji doing their things, right? So we're excited to see what he brings to the table in terms of, just opening out the concepts in our mind about, things are not as pre-planned. Like you cannot plan rugby. You can always go in with a plan, but then rugby happens. So we're hoping that he helps us navigate those those windows which we can exploit, which I mean Fiji does very very well. So we're very very excited about his inclusion, and hoping that this year we're definitely gunning for the gold this year.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Aviz. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Karina, just to ask you, are you back?
Yes, I'm coming back tomorrow to train with my team. I've been waiting for this for 8 months.
Brilliant.
I'm a little bit scared, but I'm feeling like so excited. I really want to be with my team. It's like, addiction, but it's in a good way.
Oh, fantastic! And so, are we going to look at you in the sevens as well, or just 15s?
Just 15 sevens is not my game, to be honest.
Oh, well, you're brilliant. It's always great to see you play. So, Karina
Thank
is on
you.
the athletes committee. It's a great bunch of people that have joined us, and the committee has been working well. And one of the projects that the committee has been working on is sustainability. We're planning to go green, and Ben would be is spearheading this. Ben, could you tell us a little bit about the green projects? Just a brief about
Yes,
them,
yes,
please.
yes.
And
Kuram,
before Ben, you
yeah,
start. Sorry,
yeah.
as I'm multitasking, I forgot. We've
Mm,
got a small video from the Olympics, from the IOC released,
mm.
about the Olympics and the green projects that they're doing. That might help us talk about our projects. So just start. I'll start the video.
The Olympic movement's vision is to build a better world through sport, and in today's society, a better world means a more sustainable world. And in our view, it means that we have to reduce as much as possible the negative impact we may bring and maximize the positive impact.
Yes, well, this village has been created for the legacy phase before it is hosting the Olympic and Paralympic Village, meaning that every area of the site has been thought for the future inhabitants of the village, and we have implemented all the services that are required for the Olympic and Paralympic Village in existing building as much as we could.
All right, then. So just a little bit now, if you could just share what Asia Rugby plans are and what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, I think the low hanging fruit for us is to go and have a look at where we have our events, our competitions, and then have a look and see how can we lower the use, for instance, of single-use plastics, for instance. How can we make sure that transport is better organized so that we don't constantly have buses running around, accommodation closer to the stadiums, all of those. That's the message that we're getting across to our host unions. And it will take some time, and the athletes committee are the ones that are vocal about this. But recently, I think it was in April when we were in Sri Lanka with the men's division 1, from within Sri Lanka Rugby came a group, and they called themselves the Planet Protectors, and they said, why don't we reverse it? Instead of saying use less of this, why don't we say let's do something more tangible? So they said, okay, come up with an idea, and they came up with a brilliant idea and said they would plant a tree for every try scored in the Asia rugby competitions. That's everything from our top men's, women's competitions, age grade, and the sevens. Initially, we thought, okay, this is going to be a big project, but they seem to be well organized in terms of QR codes, and they know their trees and they know where they want to plant it, etc., etc. So we're actually busy rolling out this program, and what we said to them is, when the seventh season starts, you will have to start digging because we're going to have a lot of try scored. And they said, we have the capacity. We have the capacity. We can even plant a tree for every point scored. And say, like, okay, let's just go for it. Try a tree. So this is something that the Athletes Committee has been helping us with. And then there's also another project that our chair, Michael Leach, is working with Sol Mogdad, who is also on the Athletes Committee in Lebanon, and where they say, okay, let's try to recycle usable rugby equipment. And so we saw that Michael from his club in Japan sent it all the way to Beirut in Lebanon, where Sol then distributed it amongst Palestinian players based in Lebanon. Lebanon women's rugby also got some equipment, some balls to train with. So that's also a project. I think this was just the catalyst. Now, as Athletes Committee, we'll take this further, and I'm sure there are many unions or many clubs who actually have equipment that are still very usable. So I think those are the tangible projects that we can keep busy with. And then from Gate's side, as we slowly would put in our hosting competitions for him to remind unions and just think twice before we use single-use plastic, or just and see where we can use the same banner for 2 or 3 years in a row, things like that. So yeah, as Karina said, she's happy to go back to her playing team, but we're also happy to have her in the Athletes Committee team. So yeah, Kuram, I think that's Athletes Committee, and watch the future.
And I think the Athletes Committee have been, and Michael's been very much involved. And also, whenever I require any of the committee members, they are happy to help raise their voice. Karina, could you tell us a little bit? What do you think of the green projects that we're running, and what do
I
you think?
really,
Yeah, please go ahead.
sorry, I really love that we started to think about the carbon footprint from a sport, and it's amazing to be a part of a team. I mean, the athlete committee that's thinking about this and that's trying to solve the problem. I really love the idea of using recycling balls because most of the balls are just going to trash. And if we can do something with that, it's going to be amazing. And I really want not just Asian rugby, but all rugby, how to say that, communities around the world to just think about it and maybe to work together to solve this big problem and go green.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful. And I'll just play a short video. It's about 10 seconds, just about the different aspects of the program. Yeah, just the 4 projects that we have. It's just a short video. Karina, along the lines of what we asked for, is how is there's a huge history of women's rugby in Kazakhstan. I think they played 5 World Cups. Tell us a little bit about
Six.
women's rugby.
They played
6.
6 World Cups.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah,
Tell
that's
us a little bit about
amazing.
the women's program in Kazakhstan, please.
Um, well, as you might know, that women's rugby in Kazakhstan the women's team started playing in the world in early 2000s, and since then they've been playing 6 times in the World Cup. There was a top 3 in a sevens in Asia, and there was a how they were the winners of Asian Games once, I remember. But for the last, 6 years, it was really hard for us to bring this back because we haven't played 15s, we only played sevens. And for now, we really want to bring all of this back. But it's really hard job, like really hard to be as our ancestors. So we're working on this. Our sevens team are going to play the Asian series, the Asian championships, and we're just the 15th team. We're focusing on the Asian championship. That's gonna be the next year. So we want to play in the WXP again. Really liked it, so we just want to go back there.
Well, you're back now, so you will definitely make it. Well, it's a hard shoe to walk into. I mean, that was some very very good teams that Kazakhstan teams
Yeah, it
in the past.
was.
So, but I
Uh,
think Ben, as we saw a lot of young girls under 18, under 20 coming playing
Mm.
senior rugby. Would you like to add a little bit about what you've seen?
Yes, you know what is good for us when we go to a competition, a seniors competition, and you look at a player warming up, and you're thinking, "Hey, I saw you 4 years ago. You were under 18s, you know." And then you see somebody that played under 20. So yeah, I think sometimes unions need to start from scratch and say, okay, it's very sad to tell some of the older players you're not part of the future. But that's the reality, and I think any mature player, any mature coach would be able to get the message across clearly, so that we're doing it for the country. This is a long-term plan, and so yeah, good luck, Kazakhstan. I've seen some brilliant talent under 18s, under 20s, and now the most important thing is retain, and manage them, look after them, and yeah, make them feel part of the team, which I believe you will do, Karina.
yes, I will.
Or
Thank you.
uh, or maybe you go in as a new one, and they have to make you feel part of.
Thank you, Ben. So we're coming to almost the end. Just one quick question. My favorite question that I ask any rugby player. Karina, what does rugby mean to you?
Oh wow, it means a lot of things. I'm really happy that 9 years ago I came to my first training session. I thought, God damn, no, that's normal for me. But now, 9 years later, I'm here. I'm with my team, and I'm a captain on my team. That's really, really amazing. I met all of my friends from rugby. I um, I was traveling, I was playing, I was talking to people from other countries, and that's like the best job ever. It's like not even a job. It's like your favorite hobby. And the main thing for me, thanks rugby, that I met my husband in there. He was a rugby player a lot of years ago, but we met on a training session on a like game against boys. So thanks rugby for this amazing present for me.
One wonderful, Karina. So Karina, but are you just a question? Are you talking to him yet, or are you still waiting?
Uh,
Just buy him the
Okay.
ice cream. Buy him the ice cream they promised you.
no, not talking. No, maybe in a few days. Maybe when it's gonna be a women's finals, I'm gonna talk to
When
him.
Yeah, when China and Japan play the women's final, then we'll see.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. Bob is going to ask you the same question. What does rugby mean to you?
For me, actually, rugby is it's evolved through the years that I've been involved with the sport. I mean, initially for me, rugby was a place where I'd just be happy. Then it became into this it being like life for me. Like it was so translatable for me that the happinesses and the difficulties that happen in rugby, I could relate them in my real time, in my real, like in my other life, and the life away from sport, and deal with situations much better. And it was so similar. And now for me, rugby has become like this huge family, that if I have to think about, let's say I have to travel to Nepal, I immediately think that, okay, which are the rugby players that I can connect with over there? And if I
Right.
have to plan a travel to let's say Sri Lanka, I immediately think about Dilroy, and I'm like, okay, you know what, I have family there, that's fine. And it's it's just become this huge global family where you don't have to think twice before taking a step. And because of podcasts like this, and the all the ones that we had done even during the COVID time, you got to see so many faces, and you got to know so many people, that connections just happen just like that. And that is what it has become for me now, that we're just one big family living all over the world.
Yeah, that all old cliche. Just take your cleats. That's all you need to find friends all over the world. Um,
Absolutely.
I don't know. I wasn't planning to, but I think this would be a good time. I think Ben, can
Yes.
we hear about what rugby means to you?
Okay, Kuram, it's going to end up with a PhD dissertation. To be honest with you, I think as what Vamis talks about family, yes, it does create family. So that's the one, and it's based on the values. And I think nobody can deny those are good values. You know, the discipline, respect, integrity, passion, and solidarity. But it also has the emotional side that feeds us. You know, your supporting team, your own team that you support or played with, or so. And then for me, more of a purist, I think sometimes to watch a rugby game is actually it's more of an expression of art than walking into the Louvre, for instance, for me. Because if we look at the people like the Serevis and Antoine Duponts, that's pure poetry in motion. So I appreciate that as well. And I think on the philosophical side is, sometimes you have to approach a situation. Sometimes you have to think, okay, this is actually similar to sevens, or this is similar to 15s. Yeah. So yeah, I take it back to what we said, family. Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, just the last one. I think we can get rid of all the self-help gurus and just get people to play rugby, because that's where you will face your biggest fears and overcome them. So yes, that's my two p on
Ben,
this.
that's. I tell you what, that last point. I've never thought about it that way, but that's really,
Yeah.
really,
Goodbye, Tony Robbins.
really.
Yeah, go
No,
and
really, it's. I know personally how much it helped me in my life, and I know, for example, my daughter started playing,
mm,
and in England we moved here, and suddenly she had a family and friends, and
mm.
it was therapeutic for her. It was
absolutely.
wonderful. So it just was a positive impact. Last but not least, our friend from Jordan.
Man, no pressure. But what can I say, man? Man, everything's been covered actually. Family, friendship, life. Actually, apart from it being my day job, it's man. I don't know. Maybe the pains I have in my body now just keep reminding me what an honor it has been, what a journey it has been. Rugby for me. Met a lot of people around the world. Played in places that I've never thought I would. Um, had the honor of captaining my country. So the list goes on and on. It's life for me, man, and I'm trying to instill those values in my kids, my two boys, and to get them to understand what it means to me. So, man, it's how fortunate we are to be in this position. So it's a brilliant place to be.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kate. Put rightly said. So quickly, now the last one is is a rapid fire. So I need one by one. We'll start with my left. Ben, you'll say, then Karina, then Gate, then Wabiz.
Okay.
Ready? 15s or sevens?
This week, 57s.
We know your true answer.
15s.
Just to remind Ben that this is rapid fire. Okay, so 15 or seven, Ben, sevens. Okay, Karina.
15s. Always 15s. I
Gate.
love sevens, but 15s all the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
15s for me, man. 15s for me. I'm a purist.
Wabiz.
Sevens.
Ah,
Good. Finally, I was worried. I said we have an Olympic show on sevens.
yeah.
There's no sevens
Nobody wants to talk.
because me personally, I'm also 15. So,
Yeah.
okay, next question. Who will do better, Japan women or China women? Ben.
Statistically, I've had a look at it. Japan has an easier group. There's a better chance for them to be, even if they slip up with two games, which I don't believe. I think they can give the US a go. I think, yeah, with the groups, with the draw, Japan has a better chance, and statistically, they're ranked higher as well.
Ben, I will also have to remind you this is rapid fire, but
Okay.
Karina, Japan or China?
Yeah, I think the same thing for China. It's gonna be really, really hard games. And I think Japan's gonna be better, just a little bit, like this.
Kate,
Japan.
Babiz,
Yeah, Japan.
great. Okay, so Ben, favorite player?
Favorite player coming up this week, this weekend?
Of all time, any favorite? What's your favorite player? And you can say Khurram Haroon if you want. You know, I played prop for Pakistan. So
Favorite player, I don't know, Charlotte Caslick, I guess, since we're talking sevens and Olympics.
Karina, somebody you look up to or your favorite player?
A woman or a man?
Up
I don't
to
have a
you.
man favorite player. My favorite player is a
I'm
Persian woman.
sure your
It's
husband
really
would be. If you say you don't have a men's favorite player, your husband will be upset because I know he's a rugby player.
yes. I think Portia Woodman is the basic answer, but she's a beast. She's I don't know anyone who's better, and I really wish good luck for New Zealand team because it's gonna be really sad that it's gonna be the Portia's last games.
That's true. Gaze?
Man, the goat himself, Sir Richie.
Okay.
Richie Mako.
I thought we only have to pick from the people playing this weekend.
No, you said of all time,
Yeah.
right?
Ben, you can go. Do you want to talk about? You want to name a South African player or something?
Siya Kolisi. Yeah.
All right. So the most important question of the night.
Bobby's favorite player.
For the men's, I think it would be Cheslin Kolbe, and in the women would be Sarah Hirni.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
good choice, actually.
Yes.
Good choice.
Wabiz was last, but trumped everything.
Man.
All right, I will start with Wabiz this time. Who's going to win gold in the women's?
I think it would be Australia.
Gabe?
I think Australia. Same.
Karina?
The same. I wish the New Zealand gonna win, but I think somewhere inside of my head, Australia.
Then?
I hope France. We need something new.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for showing up today and adding so much value to this show. I apologize for all the confusion. I'm not really. I'm better at behind the scenes, but for me, it was a pleasure talking to you guys. It was like getting like all my friends together and having a chit chat more than a show. Again, thank you, everybody. You guys have been great and really are legends. Ben, maybe we can call them game changers, huh?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good name. Look out for that name. It's going to come up soon. Yeah. Bobbies. Yeah. Look out for that name as well. Okay.
So that's coming up. That's a bit of a secret that I let out silently, but game changers is going to be coming up soon. Lots of interesting things happening. Again, thank you, everybody. Any last words from anybody? And then we'll just sign off.
Thank you. It's brilliant to see you all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Enjoy
guys.
the rugby.
Okay.
All right.
Bye,
So,
Karina. Bye, Bobby. Ciao.
bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys.